Check one, two. Make sure this is all working. All right. Welcome again to another edition of my DAWless Addiction. If you are a DAWless and enjoying it, please leave a comment. I'd like to hear all these people, some pretty talented people there creating and stuff. Today, I am here to just talk about ground zero. I call it ground zero. The first, getting it out of the box, getting this Akai MPC out of the box and getting their first thing recorded, trying some different thing. And Akai just makes it easier and easier every time I revisit them. And this is no exception here today. So I just want to go over, if you haven't worked with an MPC before, going over just recording your first project or song or creative work, whatever you want to call it, and how to go step by step about that. Couple of things. Hey, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. Peace and love to you. And I'm sure happy that anybody who stopped by did stop by. Leave me a shout, and I'd be greatly appreciated. So let's talk about how Akai breaks things down. Terminology, it's pretty simple. You probably see enough of these videos online here. But simply just take a note here. It's called project, sequences, tracks, and programs. So a project, if you look at here at the top left-hand corner, this is the name of the project. This one here is Video Jam How To, and that's just where the umbrella. This is like, you think of it as the folder that keeps everything about this particular composition together. So you can call it up any other time. From the project, and I should probably go in here, main. If I were to want to load a project, you'd come in here, the main menu, and just hit new project. You'll load up a new project. Empty tracks, empty, ready to go. Ready to go for you, okay? I'm going back to main. Inside a project is sequences. Akai allows you to have up to 128 sequences. That's a lot of sequences. When you take in consideration that each sequence is allowed to have also 128 tracks of music, samples, whatever you're using. That's a lot. That's a lot of music. It's a lot of content, folks. Akai has made it so that there are no excuses to say you ran out of anything. The only thing you might run out of is ideas. It's just that's how incredibly silly the space and the workflow is on these MPCs. So each track, as you can see, I'm at track 6. Let me go over here, and like track 1, I named my bass. If you look over here into these sidebars, there's like a text and a cursor. That's where you can actually go in and type in the name of your sequence, hit do it, and then whatever you typed, it will appear there forever. Bass, I did the same thing. Each one of these sections, the sequence has either an editing tool or the cursor to name. Like I could have named my plugin, but I did not. Program. I don't know why people always ask me, "Well, what's a program?" They get all antsy. A program. A program is just the sound that you're assigning to whatever track you're playing on. And it's as simple as choosing. If you see what's highlighted here in the middle, it's called the plugin. Most everybody gets plug-in instruments from Akai and from Air Technologies, and that's just what I did since I saw or heard from you, or you saw this video last about a bunch of plugins, and that'll be a separate video. But it's pretty amazing choices, a lot of content there, and we'll go over that in a previous video. But you choose on your tracks whether it's going to be a drum pattern, so you're going to be using drum sounds, see the pads, a plug-in like I have, a key group. This little play button is clip launching, which I wasn't going to do that, but I ended up doing it because once I started, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Tons of clips, drum clips from all sorts of different styles that and it makes it easier for you to create and imagine things. Again, Akai helping us get those creative juices going. So, and we'll go into more detail on another video about how to set that up. Just sign different clips and launch each one of these pads, and just like that. It's a false start. A false start. I wanted to mute that anyway. So, and you can go as much as like CV and gate. If you got the analog equipment, there are outputs in here. The voltage control will send signals to your analog and Euro rack gear so that you can use this. The Akai is ready for anything. It can when they say it can be the hub of any major studio, that's what it can do. It can control anything and everything. There's MIDI, and this instance is a plugin. You can see in the program area, you notice is that I have chosen the Mini D, and the name of the patch is there. And that's real easy. As long as you're on a track, whatever track you're in, you can easily go to menu and hit sounds. And here are all your sounds. You would just choose the Mini D or the Mellotron or the OPX4, Hype, Fabric XL, Stage EP, Stage Piano, Fabric Piano, Bassline. I think there's a couple more over here. Jura, yeah, the Jura is no joke. No joke on the Jura. And it'll remember what you do at all times. Down at the very bottom, you're either working with a MIDI track or pads, which what we're primarily doing here. I have worked with audio tracks. That is a whole other ball game. Very, very simple, but I don't want to, do too much on this video. Just want to get the instruments down and get you into a flow of just creating. Okay, but the audio is just as easy. Let's see. Tracks, you can either highlight that area and turn the data wheel so you'll see the tracks. And here's proof that Akai will allow you to have 128 tracks per sequence. It's right there. And for this, and you'd be surprised, I think I'm using only 6. And I did 6. I think I'm only going to use 5. And believe me, it's a ton of sound, a wall of sound. Put that back to 6. You can use the bottom note, incremental. You can go right here, just back and forth to switch them. If they're highlighted, you can just change them that way. For this example, I'm probably going to use this a lot more than the data wheel, because I'm going to be bringing these plugins in and out, and the clip launching. And that is going to be muted. Bam, bam, bam. So each track also gives you this little square area. I should have, if you see this whole, oh, that's panning. Yeah. But you can control all of your level right there. There is a little eye icon, and if you hide it, this is what you'll see first. Everything like this, okay? If you wanted to open it up, you hit that eye, and you'll get that fader and an insert box. And you can solo from here, mute from here. Or you can also solo and mute each track from the lower right corner of the screen. But interesting, if I were to go in here, on this plugin, I don't have any effects, but if I double-clicked it, you'll see tons of effects, from delays and reverbs, dynamics, from both Air Music Technology and Akai. And let's do. Here's all that is available from Air Music Technology and Dynamics: compressors, VCAs, compressor vintage, mother ducker. That's going to come in real handy. I like that on the kick drums. EQ and filters. Like I said, we go into delays again. Two different from Akai Professional and from Air Music Technologies. A plethora of stuff just to be able to load into there. And you can, once you have one, in there. Let's go to a track that I used here, a bass I used, a compressor maximizer. So if I open that up and I opened up the pencil icon, which is for editing, it would take us there. And look, any control you need is right there. And it will allow you to monitor everything right here as well. And you can play with the threshold, the ratio, the output, and the wet-dry mix, and hard-knee, soft-knee, attack, and the release of that compression. They also have a ton up here in the top. I've got it highlighted, and you turn, and they've got tons of presets that are used a lot in the studios. So you'll probably find exactly what you need right in the presets. No fuss, no muss. Akai is just keeping it simple, allowing us to take advantage of some really high-end technology without interrupting the creative flow. Because when you got an idea, you got to get to it and get it down here. You don't need to figure out, well, how do I compress this? No, that don't sound right. They're going to give you lots of stuff that sounds right off the bat. So let's go back here. Trying to think. We showed you how to get the projects. And obviously, when you record, you just hit record, and it's in standby mode. You hit play start. It gives you a count in, and you start playing. If you noticed, let's see, like a Jura, you won't be able to see it in this shot. I still only have one camera, so I can't do a two-camera shoot. I've got my trusty XF7 motif, the last rendition of the motif, the more studio type of board. But I've got that connected to my Akai, so it's real easy for me to go and play things like... It's the Jura and the Hype, I believe. Let me see if that's... Yep. Just great sounds. It's amazing. This thing is absolutely amazing. So then once you go through, and if you look up here in the sequence area, this is where you can pick and choose how many bars your sequence is going to be. I've chosen 8 bars here, and if you tapped on it, it'll highlight, and you could make it 13, 12, 14, 8, 7, 4, whatever. I'm doing 8, and I can tap on the tempo as well, either change from the data wheel here or double click, and I can make it whatever I want, 156, and hit do it, and now my tempo will be saved if I choose to save it at 156. Obviously, I'm going to keep it right at 120. That's what I intended. And I'll do it right back there. That's where that happens. And so starting up with the basics, once you've hit record and play, it'll record and start looping. As soon as it hits the end of this 8-bar pattern, this record button goes over to the overdub, so you can keep continuing to overdub on that same track and adding parts and so on and so forth for each track that you have. When drums, you can even explode the drums. You keep doing it all on one track, then you can explode them, and they'll all and the Akai MPC will just put it on all separate tracks. And then each pad can have an effect. It just gets crazier and easier. So just an example of what I did do here. Let's set this up for you right now. Let's see, mute that. I think I'm going to start with the mute and just start with these clip launch. I won't use that. That is. And pull that up a bit. All right. Let's see what we came up with. Real easy little dancey, fun little thing. All right. So I brought in these clips. These are these loops playing. I bring a little bit of kick drum right now. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to a different track here. Let's bring in that Jira. 1. Brought into my little lead melody. taking that lead in and out, giving it a different feel. All right. Thanks for stopping by my DAWless Addiction. If you are addicted to being DAWless like I am, please leave a message. Give me some suggestions. Give me some questions, some comments. I certainly would very much appreciate that. Okay, it is. Geez, I think it's December 20th. Not too long before the big day for a lot of people. Again, happy holidays.